when she was a young girl, sneakers on her feet, she'd head down the Portland Street. You know she's sure bored how to have some fun, and she'd dance all night and show how it's done. She walked up to him, she said, "You're Bobby Marr, I see you there by the bar." He said, I do not like to dance." She grabbed him by the hand, he never even had a chance. They're doing that shame boogie, that shame boogie, that shame boogie all night long. Doing that shame boogie, that shame boogie, shame boogie all night long. Yes, they are.
Today we welcome Jim Henman to BuzzMoncton.com, of course one of the founding members of April Wine, and who's launched a bit of a solo career too, especially of late. You know, he's never really gotten away from show business and the music business, but the last few years he's really gotten into that whole songwriting and recording thing again. And so thanks for joining us today on BuzzMoncton.com, Jim.
Hey, thank you for meeting me here and making this possible.
Oh, well, there it is.
I appreciate it.
Well, it's our pleasure, really. Opportunity to chat with a true pioneer of the Canadian music scene. It doesn't come along very often. Those early days were quite something, and I don't want to dwell on that too much, but I want to give our viewers kind of a reference point of you were with the band early on in its first incarnation.
Well, yeah, we. I'm the perpetrator of all that. You know, I talked my cousins into starting this band, and they said, "Well, we'll do it if you go get Miles." And I said, "Okay." So Miles and I had played in a band during high school called Woody's Termites. Nice name, eh? Woody's Termites. I always like that name.
It's original.
Yeah, it's original.
It would work today.
It would, yeah. So I went down and spent some time with Miles, told him what we wanted to do. We kind of knew what we wanted to do. We wanted to write all original songs and get out of Nova Scotia because there wasn't that much of a future here.
And you did, obviously, and things went very well. And so then you parted company and you embarked on a career that was still within the realm of music and showbiz, but you weren't really in the limelight so much.
Yeah, I left the business. I didn't like the business that much, to be honest. I was a victim of some negative aspects of it. And so I left the business, came back here to Nova Scotia, and went to work in a medical laboratory for 30 years. But on the side, I was always writing and recording and getting involved in projects, and kind of had it in my back of my mind that when I left that day 9-to-5 job, that I would get back into music. And about 10 years before I retired, I seriously started writing again and getting involved in musicals and in other people's projects and
musicals.
Yeah, I wrote a couple of musicals. One called Death the Musical, which was the first time I'd ever co-written with a female, with a woman. I'd never worked with a woman on a writing level.
Okay. And
it was a really nice experience. I enjoyed that because there wasn't that kind of, like if you and I sat and tried to write something, it would be these two male egos butting heads, you know. Yeah. But when you're working with a lady, they're much more gentler with us. You know, she wasn't as aggressive. So that was a nice experience. And we did that in Chester and Playhouse, and did it at Neptune.
Wow.
And it had a French run in Montreal a couple of years ago.
No way.
Yeah. So it was a really nice, and it's going to be run again in July in Chester Playhouse again.
So has it been around a while, or is it?
1998, I think we did that.
Okay, and it still has legs.
Still has legs.
Well, that's saying something.
Yeah. And I did another one, but we ran into legal problems.
Oh,
couldn't get it out there. You know,
lawyers.
Yeah, it was lawyers. Yeah.
But then came this. I don't want to call it the latest project, because I understand it's a process, and you've never really stopped doing your writing and your recording. But all of a sudden now, Jim Henman just seems to be coming up more and more often. You seem to be more involved. More engaged, yeah. I worked with a lot of different people over the last 20 years, but I hadn't really considered doing something myself until I started working with a young guy by the name of Mike Trask, who you might know that name. Trask, yes.
Mike Trask and Muddy Hill. Well, he was a neighbor of mine down the Eastern Shore, down by Martinique Beach, and he talked me into saying, "You should do a project. You should do a project, Jim." You know, so. He said he'd be the producer. So I said, sure, let's do it.
Okay.
So we did the CD, and we started doing a few shows together ourselves. And I was really nervous. It's such a different game getting out in front of people with just you and your guitar. It feels like you got no clothes on, because we're used to being with a band,
Right.
with all that volume and all that support.
Yeah, just surrounded it.
Yeah, all around you. You're only carrying 25% of the load or something.
Right.
But solo gigs, it's like 100% of the load, and it was scary.
But
do that.
rewarding, I presume.
Oh yeah, I love it. They're the best gigs. This type of gig we have here tonight, these are the best gigs for me, for someone like myself.
Okay.
Because I tend to talk and tell stories, and
Yeah.
and it's fun.
So you like the smaller rooms? Any inclination to kick it into larger rooms, or depends on who's asking?
Yeah,
Maybe.
and the music business is not in the best shape today.
Right.
So I don't have any aspirations that way to move it to a bigger room. What I do is, if I get a demand for someone hires me or for a larger gig, then I just hire some musicians and extra musicians, and we do a trio or a quartet, that type of thing. But as far as most of my gigs now are the smaller gigs, 40, 50 people, wonderful little gigs.
Awesome. And you do have, of course, an album.
I've got an album, yeah, it's called Same Old Feelin'.
And the website.
JimHenman.com.
Right, because people can go there and find out about the album.
Yeah, they also do my Jim Henman Facebook. I tend to post a lot more on my Facebook than I do my blog, my musical blog. Especially now, I'm working on a new project. These host concerts have allowed me to start writing songs at them. I'm actually going to write one tonight with this group. So I've been writing songs for a year now at house concerts, just as a kind of thing to do to engage the audience and have fun, right? But it turned into such a neat experience. When I got home, I would write these songs, and I said, geez, these are good tunes, man. So I said, I think I'll do an album. I said, well, we call them albums, right?
Well, yeah.
Actually CDs, but I call them albums. I said, I think I'll do an album. So I'm in the midst of finishing that up, like going in the studio in the next month to record it, and it'll be the first time I've ever worked on an album CD with over 100 contributors, like different people that have contributed lyrics to the title, lyrics to the song. So
what an amazing process!
This has just been amazing this last year. That way, it's been amazing.
And that'll be happening soon enough.
That'll be out in September, probably.
In September.
Yeah.
We'll keep an eye out for that.
Yeah.
I imagine you don't have a title for it yet.
Well, the working title is Hen House Hymns.
Okay. Hen House Hymns.
Yeah. Yeah.
By Jim Henman and Company.
Yeah, my daughter-in-law, my son's wife, she's recommended that for some reason. I'll have to check with her to see why she did that. But it stuck with me. Hen House Hymns.
Jim, a real pleasure to chat with you. I know you have a show to get set up for and everything, but thanks for your time today. It's been a real pleasure chatting with you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks,
it's nice to meet you finally after being chatter on the internet.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. You too, and we'll do it again.
Okay, Terry. Thank you.
For Jim Henman, I'm Terry Parker with BuzzMoncton.com. Be sure to check out our events page to find out what's going on in your city, and our Buzz Extras page for all the cool music videos that you'll find there. See you next time.
And it wasn't that long she found a preacher man to do it upright. Bobby thought he'd found the love of his life, but she found those nights so long. And then one Friday night, Bobby, he was gone. They're doing that shame boogie, that shame boogie, that shame boogie all night long, long, long. Doing that shame boogie, that shame old boogie, that shame old boogie all night long. And she's doing that shame boogie, that shame boogie, that shame boogie all night long. Oh yeah, doing that shame boogie, shame boogie, shame boogie. Oh, now that Bobby's gone, Bobby's gone, gone. Bobby's gone, Bobby's gone, gone.